What if everything you've been told about loneliness is wrong? What if having no friends isn't a curse, but a kind of freedom most people are too afraid to explore? The Stoics, ancient warriors of the mind, believe that the path to true peace isn't through people, it's through yourself. And in a world addicted to connection, your greatest power might just lie in walking alone. In a society that often equates happiness with social success and the number of friends one keeps, the idea of having no friends is frequently seen as a shortcoming, a symptom of social failure, or even a precursor to loneliness and despair. Yet, through the lens of Stoicism, a philosophical tradition rooted in ancient Greece and Rome, solitude is not necessarily a vice, it can be a virtue. From Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius, Stoic thinkers have consistently emphasized inner resilience, self-sufficiency, and independence of mind, suggesting that solitude can be not only tolerable but also profoundly beneficial. In this video, we explore the idea that having no friends, rather than being a weakness or an unfortunate circumstance, can be an opportunity for clarity, growth, and peace, especially when guided by Stoic principles. 1. The Stoic ideal, self-sufficiency. One of the foundational tenets of Stoicism is the pursuit of autarkia, or self-sufficiency. The Stoics believe that happiness, or eudaimonia, does not depend on external circumstances, possessions, social status, or even relationships, but instead arises from virtue, reason, and mastery over one's own mind. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of Stoicism's most revered teachers, wrote, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves." From this point of view, needing friends to feel whole or happy would be to anchor your peace in the uncontrollable. Friends can be kind, enriching, and supportive, but their presence or absence should not determine your ability to lead a fulfilling life. To have no friends, then, is not a calamity to a Stoic, but a neutral condition, one that simply reveals how well you can stand on your own. 2. Freedom from social dependence. Many people subconsciously shape their lives around the expectations, judgments, and opinions of others. Friendships, while often sources of joy, can also become cages. We may limit our speech, mold our interests, or dampen our ambitions to fit in or maintain harmony. For the Stoic, this compromises inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, cautioned against giving away one's inner liberty. "It never ceases to amaze me, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Being without friends removes the temptation to people please. You are no longer on stage. You stop performing. In this silence, a kind of liberation is born. Freed from the need to be liked, you can begin to live more authentically, act more purposefully, and think more clearly. 3. Reflection and self-knowledge. Solitude allows for introspection. It gives you the rare opportunity to look inward, uninterrupted. Seneca, another leading Stoic thinker, emphasized the value of retreating into the self, not as an escape from life but as a way to understand and improve it. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. You are arranging what is in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. When we're constantly surrounded by others talking, socializing, messaging, we often lose touch with our inner dialogue. Alone, without friends, you're forced to sit with yourself. This can be uncomfortable, but it is also clarifying. You begin to ask, who am I when no one is watching? What do I value when no one is validating me? What habits are mine, and which ones have I absorbed to blend in? Solitude, in this sense, is not a void. It is a mirror. 4. Control over time and energy. Without the obligations of friendship, birthdays, dinners, emotional check-ins, favors, you reclaim vast amounts of time and energy. While this might sound selfish, the Stoics would argue that using your time wisely is not only permissible but essential. Life is short. Your days are numbered. Seneca, in his famous essay on the shortness of life, writes, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Without friends, your schedule becomes your own. You have fewer interruptions, fewer demands, and more space for things that matter deeply: personal growth, reading, meditation, creating, or simply being. Rather than seeing this as a lonely vacuum, Stoicism invites you to see it as fertile ground. 5. Resilience through adversity. To a Stoic, suffering is not something to be avoided but a tool for fortification. Life, they believed, is indifferent. It throws both fortune and misfortune at us. What defines us is how we respond. Having no friends, especially when it is not a choice, can be painful. But this very pain is a crucible for strength. The discomfort becomes a kind of spiritual training. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Friendlessness becomes a classroom. It teaches endurance. It forces you to turn to yourself for comfort and insight. Over time, this builds unshakable inner strength, what the Stoics called apatheia, a serene equanimity, unbothered by fortune or isolation. 6. Avoidance of toxic influences. Not all friendships are virtuous. Some are draining, manipulative, or morally compromising. According to Epictetus, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Having no friends is preferable, in Stoic thought, to having bad ones. When we surround ourselves with people who pull us away from virtue through gossip, vanity, envy, or vice, we lose ourselves. In contrast, solitude poses no such risk. It gives us a clean slate. In this way, the absence of friends is not a weakness but a moral safety zone. It is a retreat from the noisy marketplace of shallow approval and into the quiet temple of ethical clarity. 7. A test of virtue. Ultimately, Stoicism is about living in accordance with nature and reason, with virtue as the highest good. The 4 Stoic cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are not dependent on anyone else. They are practiced internally. Having no friends becomes a test of these virtues. Wisdom: can you discern between what you can control, your thoughts, responses, and what you can't, others' affection? Courage: can you face social stigma or loneliness with grace? Justice: can you still act honorably toward others, even when you receive no companionship in return? Temperance: can you moderate your desires for external validation? In solitude, there's no applause. You act rightly not because anyone is watching, but because it is right. This is the Stoic ideal, virtue for virtue's sake. 8. The difference between loneliness and solitude. Modern psychology has made a clear distinction between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the richness of being alone. To the Stoic, the aim is not to deny that social connection can be beautiful or meaningful, it's to understand that peace must not depend on it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Friendlessness may begin in loneliness, but with time, discipline, and the right mindset, it can evolve into solitude, and solitude into serenity. 9. Friendship revisited, a Stoic perspective. It's important to clarify that Stoicism does not promote misanthropy. The Stoics valued noble friendships, ones rooted in mutual respect, virtue, and reason. But they also warn that attachment should never be so strong that its loss brings you down. Seneca, who wrote extensively on friendship, said, "He is your friend who, when you make a mistake, does not desert you, even though you deserve it." Thus, from a Stoic perspective, having no friends is not inherently good or bad. It depends on the kind of friendships you're missing and your attitude toward their absence. If you find yourself without friends, it is not necessarily a tragedy. It may be a temporary state, a necessary purge, or a spiritual opportunity. What matters is whether you use this solitude to build virtue, clarity, and strength. In conclusion, the modern world often equates social disconnection with personal failure. But the Stoics, ancient sages who saw human life with unsentimental clarity, offer a different view. To be without friends is not to be broken. It is to be unencumbered. It is a chance to rediscover who you are without the mirror of others. If you embrace Stoic principles, the absence of friends becomes not a punishment but a platform for reflection, refinement, and resilience. You come to see that peace is not out there in others' affection. It is within, always available, always waiting. In the end, the greatest friendship you can cultivate is the one you hold with your own soul. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.